You're listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers.
I've heard you are somewhat of a superstitious person. In certain,
I am.
in certain ways. Whereas it reminded me a lot of like hockey players, where like you have a specific set of, for lack of a better term, tasks or things you need to do just to.
I would say it borders on OCD.
Okay, you said it, not me. Right?
You know,
like
I
said,
think I've gotten better at it over the years, but especially in the competition days, like never wear matching socks. Like always, have the exact same breakfast in the exact same seat. And like it got to the point where I'm like, this is really like kind of affecting how I live, just because I'd have to do everything in such a certain.
And I've heard like you got to keep your skis on the certain side of the door at night, like left side of the door, and like I'm sure you put your boot on the right, like one boot before the other boot.
100%. Once you have that day that goes well, it's like, okay, I need to do everything the exact same, and like that little stuff, like where you put your skis, like. God forbid you put your skis on the wrong feet and you're in the starting gate and you look down and you're like, oh no, stickers are usually on the right ski and they're on the left ski.
And I've heard even like, you're standing at the top of a line and you're about to go and you have to like do like certain touches and certain adjustments.
I'd forgotten about this stuff. Now you're going to bring it back into my life and I'm going to be like, I'd gotten through this.
You're going to be thanks. Now I'm comfortable again.
if I had like a negative thought, I'd have to like gently like tap on my head or like brush on
to get it out of it.
Yeah, just I have no idea like.
And if you did something in the wrong order, would you have to like redo it again, or if like you were about to start a run and you did it and they're like, okay, pause, you're like, oh no.
Yeah, I'll like kick off my skis in the starting gate and put them back on, and like stuff you shouldn't be doing. Like
yeah,
you should be like focused. And
is this something that you've been concerned about in the past, or like even like maybe I should inquire or like investigate this a little further?
I got a sock sponsor, so like had to start wearing matching socks, and that was like the domino that fell. That I was like started.
Oh, it's not so bad.
I wore matching socks. Nothing changed.
That kind of horrifies me because I don't think ever in my life I'm the exact opposite. I cannot ever wear unmatching socks. They have to be the same. I have a bit. That's why I asked you, because I have a little bit at me too.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things I have to do.
It's way more convenient to have to not wear matching socks than,
Not if you live your life the way I do. If there's a sock and there's only one and it's like a couple of laundry cycles and we still haven't found the other one,
you just
poof, it's gone.
Yeah, it's fair.
But I get it. But that kind of fascinates me because I like was a big hockey fan, and that's a big in the hockey world too, right? Big superstitions with like, you put this one on, you put that on, you tap something 3 or 4 times. There's like all these little superstitions like, oh sweet, I got 3 goals tonight. Well, what did I do? Oh, okay, well I used this soap. Yeah. Right?
It's like 5 clicks with the poles always, like before you start. Most people are 1 or 2, and I was like, it's got to be like right hand over left hand over right, then 1 tap with like just
that
right.
Specific. Hey?
Yeah.
What other ones do you
remember? A wild ride up in the brain, man.
And is it just with skiing, or is it like regular? Is it like leaked into your regular life? Like you got to touch the doorknob 2 or 3 times and then make sure it's locked.
Yeah, the negative thought thing has definitely like leaked into my regular life.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of like that with the stove, but that's probably the good one. Even though I've like turned the stove off, and I know I've turned the stove off, and I'll walk to the end of the driveway and I'll be like, damn it, and I know it's off 100%. I could just get in the car and drive away, but I have to go and look at it, and I have to touch all the things sometimes, and then I'll leave.
But every now and then you're right. You go back and the stove is on, and you're like, this is why I go in every time and check.
Yeah, one day I will be, yeah.
But no, that's another one. But I think that's a pretty common one to be like the stove. Like,
oh yeah, the stove for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. I can be able to focus the rest of this interview because I'm like, I wonder if the stove's on.
Can I see it from here? No, I don't.
Yeah.
So actually, funny story. So, I did an interview with Johnny Collinson, in France, like the week before everything shut down for COVID. We were spending a week at Youth Thrive camp. He was coaching or being the draw for that camp. So I got to hang out with him for a week. It was super cool. We're staying in this lodge, this really awesome lodge, in Flane, and we wanted to do an episode, but it was kind of really no really good spot for it in the lodge. It was one of the first ones I started to try and start filming, sort of thing. And so we ended up going down into the suite of the people who run the lodge, like, so they let us use their house. So they were up, fixing dinner for everybody, all the guests, and doing all that kind of stuff. And they're like, yeah, we set up down here. And for some reason, we turned the stove on for something. And we're we're about 35 minutes into this episode, and I look out of the corner of my eye, or Johnny looks out of the corner of mine and does one of these, like, and like the stove is still on. I was like, oh shit. So we got up and go turn the gas stove up, and I was watching the video, and like, there it is. You can see it burning in the background. So it's actually something that does happen. So maybe we should go check. No,
it's good. It's good. Would have noticed by this point, surely.
Right.
You've been listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers. This has been a Redmark Media production.